and a lot more? If he gets in his car, he'll face costs exceeding $20,000. Does he realize he could have a criminal record for his choice to drive? And it could be much worse if he crashes. I wonder what he'll be thinking tomorrow.
Have a Holden 1 at 15.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
I still remember the games. The laughter, the footsteps through the hallway. I'll never forget the challenges.
Every day I come back from work, it's always like this. We're yelling in front of the kids.
I'll never forget the help we needed. How far we've come.
You're watching Rogers TV St. John's.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another awesome episode of Out of the Fog. I'm your host, Laurabel Mba. We have two fantastic guests joining us today for a fantastic episode talking about arts and culture in all kinds of ways. So sit back, relax, and let's get right into it. Welcome back, everyone. I'm now joined by Laura Williams, who is the Artistic Associate with the RCA Theatre Company. Laura, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I'm so excited to talk about a little bit about what RCA is, some cool upcoming stuff, but I guess the best place to start is introducing you to our audience. So who are you and how did you become part of RCA?
So I'm Laura Williams. I'm the Artistic Associate, and I've been the Artistic Associate for about 6-7 years now.
Oh, goodness.
I worked at the Hall since 2010. I started as the box office bartender, staff, part-time casual. And then I became communications for a short amount of time, and then the Artistic Associate became available, so I applied for that. So I'm really lucky to get to see the organisation in lots of different formats.
That's so cool. So for our viewers who don't know, and me as well, what an Artistic Associate is, what is that?
Well, really, my job changes every day, which is pretty wonderful. I have to say I'm very lucky to have the job that I have. But it changes from looking at budgets to programming to reading scripts to creating fun events. I work really closely with Nicole Rousseau, who is the artistic animateur at RCA Theatre Company. So yeah, every day it sort of changes, and every season we have different shows that we do. So each show entails sort of different work created around it.
So that's so cool. So you get to see like every aspect of the RCA Theatre Company from like the beginning to the end and see wonderful productions come to life.
It's really amazing. Yeah, you get to see, like, sometimes we have scripts come in right from the get-go, and we work from them from development stage into production, which is just incredible to see the work go into it.
So on the note of scripts coming in, I know you guys have a wonderful call that recently just went out. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's really exciting. So it's an eight-year hiatus since the event. So it's been 8 years since we've actually done the Christmas, the holiday monologue event. So it's based sort of on a holiday monologue from your past or present. It can be fact or fiction. It's a really lovely way to sort of tell us a little bit about yourself or make something up. And it can be 5 minutes or under. And there's going to be a blind jury, and they're going to be blind selected, and then we're going to have a winner, a second place, and then a couple of runners-up that all win cash prizes, which is really exciting.
Oh, okay. So much to unpack there.
Right.
All right, so who can enter? We'll start there.
Anybody can enter. So you don't have to have written before. You don't have to celebrate Christmas. It can be a holiday that you celebrate. You don't have to be from Newfoundland. You can be from anywhere. Okay. And we just want to sort of see a glimpse into people's brains, really, and glimpses of people's magical holidays that they have with their families or friends, or, you know, maybe it's not such a great experience, but you'd like to write about that too. You know, it's a really wonderful experience for people to be able to write something and send it in to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long do people have to send submissions in?
So you've got until December 4th is the deadline, but you can start sending them in right now. We're receiving submissions. We've received a couple already, which is really exciting. And we have them from like established writers in the community, and also from people who've never written monologues before. Monologues are like your inner thoughts that you have. So it doesn't matter if you even have heard of a monologue before, you know, you really should submit if that's something you'd like to do.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the thing that I would be wondering if I were submitting. Do I have to present this?
So, it goes to the jury, so it depends on whether or not you get selected to be a winner or not.
Okay.
Our winners do read on the evening of December 13th at the LSPU Hall.
Okay.
Now, if for some reason, we spoke about this in the office, if for some reason you submitted a monologue and you are picked as a winner, but you don't feel comfortable reading it, we can definitely make some adjustments to that. And yeah, so there can definitely be some arrangements around that, if that's something that you would, if you're more comfortable writing rather than reading it. But it would be lovely to have you read your own monologue. That would be a wonderful addition to the evening.
That's so cool. So I know you said this is coming back after an 8-year hiatus.
Yeah.
What sparked it?
I think just the wonderful talent in our community. We get to see so many plays that are submitted. There's the park, the Playwrights Atlantic Resource Centre,
yes.
Which do wonderful workshops in town, and then we sort of develop, work developmentally with scripts, and it's wonderful to see just the upcoming talent, but also the established talent that's in town. And I mean, what a wonderful reason to bring everybody together in the same room to celebrate what we do at RCA.
So let's say I'm not a Newfoundlander and I'm watching Out of the Fog because I'm a dedicated fan of Newfoundland and Labrador, obviously. Yeah. What would you tell me to get me to submit a monologue?
Gosh, I mean, I always think of a moment that you can't stop thinking about, or something that, if it's fictional, something that you've been playing with, maybe you've been inspired to write something. I think sort of giving us a snippet of your life, maybe, or a snippet of your imagination. A way to sort of welcome yourself and introduce yourself into the community. It's going to be a social gathering as well, so it's a lovely opportunity to have a bite to eat and meet members of the community. And then even if you don't write a monologue, but you would like to come and attend the event, you are still more than welcome to. It's at 5:30 on December 13th at the LSPU Hall. So it's a lovely opportunity just to sort of get acquainted with the people in the arts community and the people at the hall as well.
Oh, so that's so cool. So I know you said it's a blind judging.
Yes.
So why is it blind, and then why, like, how are the judges being selected?
So we try and be a really inclusive. I mean, there's always ways to improve, but we really try and work on accessibility and inclusivity within the organization and inviting all members of the community. And I think having a blind jury is a really wonderful way to do that, because then people can everyone submits to me, and I work on getting them out to the jury so that they can read them without any names attached. And I think that's just a wonderful way to sort of get a really non-biased, an unbiased point of view when reading these and deciding who the winners are going to be. I want everybody to be invited to this party, and this is a way to do it.
So that's so cool. So the jury not knowing who the writers are.
Yeah.
How are you selecting the jury? Just for the curious parties who want to know who they might be writing
I think I'm going to select a couple of members. I'm going to select 2 past winners, and then also 2 board members. So our board are made up of members of the community and artists. So I think there's some wonderful board members who will be a jury, and then 2 past winners as well. I think where they've been winners in the past, they'll be good at judging which ones come in. Yeah.
So I know you said this is going to be an event.
Yes.
So it's not just writing and submitting and hoping that you get selected.
Yeah.
If you just want to come out and see the community, this is where to do it?
Totally, yeah. So December 13th at the LSPU Hall, 5:30 is when we're starting. We're having some light nibbles and some drinks, and then we will start with the winners, with the winner, and then we're also going to have a past winner reading a monologue as well. But yeah, it's just sort of a social gathering, a holiday social gathering. So even if you are, even if you put a monologue in and you aren't selected as a winner, you're more than welcome to come along. And even if you don't write a monologue and you just want to hear them, you're more than welcome to come along and enjoy that.
So where can we find out more information, let's say judging criteria, all that kind of key details for people who, fingers crossed, will now be submitting and writing their monologues after watching this? Right,
as we speak.
Basically, jotting away.
So yeah, we have a website which is lspuhall.ca, and on that we have our events page. So on the events page for December 13th, we've got all the information on there. And my email is associate@rcatheatre.ca, and so anybody who has any questions or concerns or wants to just, clarify something before they send something in, they're more than welcome to email and ask me, leading up to the competition.
So I know this key competition is something very cool coming on, but I know the RCA Theatre Company has tons and tons of great stuff lined up for the holiday seasons. Can you drop any key hints about fun stuff we can look forward to?
Yes. So in December we have a really fun holiday tradition, which is penning the carol. So this is the 21st year that we're doing it, which is just amazing. It's written and performed by Aidan Flynn.
Yes.
And so audiences, they start calling in November. It's sort of the start off for the Christmas holiday celebrations for sure, with a lot of people. So we have shows on the 19th of December and the 20th of December.
Okay.
And this year, which is really exciting, so Browning Harvey is our event accessibility sponsor.
Okay.
And so through Browning Harvey, we're actually able to provide live description this year of Penning the Carol on the 20th of December.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, which we're really excited about. It's something that we haven't been able to do before.
So I know we got to meet Aidan last season where he talked about Penning the Carol coming back. So it's so great to see that it's coming back again.
It's awesome.
And now that they have accessibility needs being met to more people to access it.
Yeah.
That's
fantastic. It's really wonderful. Browning Harvey came on as a sponsor, and so we're just able to have that in the Penny and the Carol show this year, which is wonderful.
So how do people get tickets, once again?
So again, that's the LSPU tickets at lspuhall.ca. You can get the Penny and the Carol tickets right now. The 20th is the live description show, and all our events, you can check them out on the website. We've got some cool presentations as well coming up in the new year, which we're going to be announcing in the near future.
So if we don't follow you on socials, we should follow you there too?
100%, yeah. Okay. So that we have a Resource Center for the Arts Facebook page. We're on Instagram and Twitter, and I think we're even on TikTok now.
Ooh.
I know. Hold us back. We're too cool.
Oh,
too cool.
No such thing as too cool for RCA. So I got one more minute before I let you go. If there's one thing you want our viewers to know, either about you, about the monologue contest, or about the RCA Theatre Company, what would it be?
Gosh, just that RCA and LSPU Hall is a not-for-profit charitable organisation, and the work that goes into creating the events that we do to try and showcase and highlight the local talent is huge. And it's just wonderful to see so many people choosing us for their night out, and I really hope that continues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, if you are a not-for-profit, people want to support you besides coming to the shows. How do we do that? Just so we know.
So we do have lots of different ways to donate.
Okay.
We also we have a donation page on our website, so you can do monthly giving and one-time giving. We have a campaign that we're going to be starting soon. So there's lots of different ways to donate. We also have we've been started, so this year is the Chris Brooks Memorial Awards that we've been asked to announce, so that will be on our website really shortly. Awesome. But that's another way that people can donate.
I want to thank you, Laura, so much for chatting with me. It's been great getting to know you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been really awesome.
And we'll be right back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. And I'm now joined by Sandra Roberts of Pi Group and Pi NL. Sandra, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here because I happened to catch the first edition of Pi NL when it came out digitally, but I want to take our viewers through the whole journey of how this came to be. So how did you start Pi?
Well, I mean, it started with a passion to throw parties. So a magazine, was a really good reason to get people together to celebrate.
Yeah.
And, my background's in hospitality. So when I moved away from Newfoundland when I was 19, I went to Georgian College in Barrie, Ontario to study hospitality. So the publishing industry is a lot like the hospitality industry. The process of it, but then there's also a tangibility, and then there's a closure to the process, and then you start all over again. So it's and it's just getting to meet so many people. It started with the passion for hospitality and meeting people and having a good time.
Okay. So when you created the first Pi publication, what was the feeling for you?
So we don't talk about Pi NL or Pi Media Group because I've been publishing for 20 years, but Pi NL is the beginning. It's almost like the beginning.
Okay, so
again,
we can start with Pi Media Group so people know that this is a little bit of what came to create the lovely magazine that we're going to feature and talk about, but I want them to know the history of Pi Media Group for you.
Well, it started about 19 years ago when I had a retail store, and having a retail store really gave me the advantage to meet a lot of new people. And then I got on MySpace, so I got a computer and a cell phone, and I got a Hotmail account. And, but I got on MySpace, so getting into that world, it really opened up my mind to what was going on around the world. And then with that, I wanted to share it. And then I was learning so much more about Barrie and the community by having a retail store that I wanted to share the stories in my community. So I was merging international and national content. And through the process, I featured people in Newfoundland. So, over the years, Mary Walsh and Alan Hocko and Jeremy Charles, and the stories that, were making national and international headlines, I was also very interested in. And, 19 years later, here I am.
Okay. So when you decided to bring it home, what was that like for you?
It was it's been and has been very natural. It feels like home. It's not something that I've really given a lot of thought in. It's I'm in it. It's when I'm here, I live here. It's not like I'm a visitor, and I never felt that way. Always coming back, always staying in Airbnbs. I've stayed in over 45 Airbnbs, and I think 14 in the Battery, because that's a nice area that I like to stay in now, Katie Vitti. So always making home. So doing something here with the publication just felt right. In January, I didn't want to leave. So, and I've been back in this year, almost 14 trips. So back and forth. So, and it's easy. People think about Newfoundland as a trip of a lifetime, and it's just lifestyle, and I think coming here and just enjoying the process of doing the publication here, meeting new people, meeting people like you, reconnecting with family and friends, making new friends, reconnecting with old friends. It's like working from home. I don't know.
Actually working from home.
Truly working from home. And the community has been super, super supportive and kind and generous, and it makes me feel very valued to be able to have an impact on a community like home.
So why was it so important for you to share Newfoundland with the rest of the world with this magazine?
It's, at this time, there's always a time and a time and place, and it's always been important to me. I always take great pride in saying I grew up in Newfoundland. It's always been something I'm very, very proud of. Now more than ever, I think in Canada, we are sourcing the things that make us feel good. People that make us feel good, food that makes us feel good, and there's something about the ocean and the high level of living here, the etiquette and the value system of this island, but also the wellness is really elevated in a really natural setting, and there is an affordability being here, that to have such luxury just by going to the ocean and, you know, going for a walk downtown, or having a friend with a boat, or being able to go pick blueberries. Like, that is a very affordable luxury that I think is not taken for granted. And this is the time, I think, where we really need to focus on the wellness in our life and friends and family. And I feel like this place, not only for the people that live here and enjoy the time I'm spending, I really want to bring people here that haven't been here. The idea that Newfoundland's cold, or it's far, or these certain stigmas that, you know, it's like, and that's why Pioneer is so important to me, because I think it's really important to like focus on tourism, but really focus on the people that are here. Absolutely. And the luxury aspect of what's here. And it's not just how much things cost, but the luxury of what's offered here when you come here. And it's affordable to get here. Like, from Toronto right now, like, flights are like quite affordable in off season. Yeah. So also really promoting what people refer to, I think, as the shoulder season, really promoting that type of tourism, to come and, you know, take advantage of a seaweed bath, or, you know,
just reminding me of all the things that are wonderful to do as we move into the holiday season, as we're checking things off our list.
Right.
This is fantastic.
And I'm like planning, like, you know, like winter here and early spring, because those are the months, like that's when I come to Newfoundland. I never usually come in the summertime previous to Pioneer. I'm like a February, March person, and people are like, you come here on purpose in those months?
I would have been one of the people who asked.
Right? But I really do. And even, you know, the fashion show, we just had like 20 people come from Ontario. And the number one thing is people were like, what do I wear? Isn't it so cold? And it's like, it's the same, just a little damper, like just wear your wool base layer and you're fine.
So as you picked the people you wanted to feature in the first edition, what was that thought process like for you, and how did you decide?
I'd already had relationships with some of the people that are featured in the first issue, so like felt very like natural to do that. And then it was like just looking at people that are like pioneering as well, things that are happening in Newfoundland, and conversations that are happening that are maybe new in Newfoundland, but certainly new outside of Newfoundland. So, you know, when I look at certain people like John Norman, and, you know, what he's doing in the town of Bonavista, and how much international attention he's getting for his platform and how he's doing things, you know, I just think that those are stories that are national stories, but they're here. So, and then it's like, I also love like the real people stories, you know, like I was saying, like I love stories that just are relatable and authentic. Yeah. So there's a lot of that as well. So, I mean, it just, and the next issue is, I try not to theme them, so I try to balance it out. So it's like music and art and lifestyle and fashion and travel and business and real estate and all the things. And just naturally people just started really appearing. Like, it's really easy, like online when you're like surfing a little bit, to see who stands out.
Yeah. So were there any people that surprised you as you put this together, where you got to talk to them and find out a little bit more of their stories, when you sat there and be like, I would never have guessed this was the path you walked to get to where you were?
Yeah, like most people, actually. And I think that what I really enjoy about it is that now in storytelling is different. Like, whatever, you know, 3 years ago or 4 years ago, like, our narratives are so different now. It's like, it's almost like, even if you were the most famous person in the world and your story's been told 100 times, maybe 2 years later, your story's being told for the first time, because things have evolved and changed, and, you know, we care about different things. Different things are priorities to us. So almost everybody that I talk to is surprisingly a little more vulnerable about sharing their story, and through the process, realizing that they are being vulnerable and enjoy the process.
Okay, so as you think of the future editions, are there some things that you say, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I really want to show this? When you think of our province, the stories you could tell, are there some that you're already dreaming of bringing them to life?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I look at these, my whole life I've been looking at like fashion editorials and high fashion magazines. And I've always, like, I love fashion, and I love fashion editorials. And it's not just the editorial, it's like the behind the scenes, like how many people it takes to capture a very luxury photo. And I look at, like, you know, Vogue magazine, for example, and like, I want to like produce some content here that stands up to those publications. And when people see it, they're like, oh wow, that's Newfoundland. And I want people in Newfoundland to look at it and go, oh wow, that's here. Like, so always looking for the different things that that really impress Newfoundlanders because they might not know it exists. And I think I'm digging pretty deep, and it's not very hard to find those things because there's so much here. So it's hard to narrow down, but I think the sourcing out sort of like what really feels good in the wellness and some of the experiences here that are really elevated for like just well-being, I think is something I'm really interested in exploring right now for travel and tourism from while I'm here, and then something we can do together, like when we hang out.
See, that's so cool for me because when I saw the digital copy of this, and I love the hard copy, it's fantastic, I just thought, I was like, these are stories that I forget go on here. These are people's lives that I forget when you think about Newfoundland and Labrador, that there is a certain amount of luxury that exists in being here and the connectedness we have to the earth and to society and each other. And I'm so glad that you've taken on the project of not just bringing it to Newfoundland and Labradorians, but showing the rest of the world the beauty and the wealth of beauty that lives here. I think a lot of people across the coast don't know who we are. So I have you for one more minute.
Yes,
and
great.
if there's one thing you want our viewers to know about you, about the Pi Group, or about this fantastic magazine, if they don't already have a copy, what would you want them to know?
One thing. That, you know, I think that I really enjoy being a connector in community. Like, that's something that I've really taken a lot of pride in my own community and really connecting different types of people. And I think that the one thing that I really truly am passionate about is connecting people that even in your own city, maybe, or in your own province, like, might not always be able to connect, you know? And I think that that's really what Pi Media Group is about, and building a new group of people here to support each other in business, in creating content, in doing things that matter for charities or associations that might need a little attention or a little help. And we all do. We all need each other. So I think I really want to just, that feels right for me. So that's kind of why I'm here.
I want to thank you so much, Sandra, for chatting with me, sharing your journey, sharing the importance of the work you're doing, and then the unconventional way that you're bringing beauty, not just to us, but to people around the country. So thank you.
Thank you.
Much.
It's really fun.
I really enjoyed it. And we'll be right back, everyone. I want to thank all of you for tuning in again today. I want to give a special thank you to my guests for joining me. Thank you to Laura with the RCA Theatre Company for joining us to talk about their upcoming monologue contest, which I ask if you've ever written anything or thought about writing, now's your opportunity to get it live and on stage. I want to give a very special thank you to Sandra Roberts with Pi Group and Pi NL for sharing the luxury that exists within Newfoundland and Labrador with those beyond our borders. Thank you all for tuning in again, and I can't wait to catch up with you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us your feedback through social media.
It's Wednesday Night Hockey.
The ultimate midweek showdown.
here on Sportsnet.
Here we go.
Hockey's best go head-to-head, featuring division rivalries that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey